And good evening, everybody. It is August 29th, 2021, a Sunday, and we just finished the Sunday HOH nominations and more high roller rooms here in week 8 of Big Brother 23, USA edition, of course. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader and co-host Jaemeel Robinson, streaming here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch for this Sunday night to talk all about this episode tonight, break it all down. What aired a little bit later on Global, at least, and I think in CBS in the United States as well, because some of this got cut off in our PVR. So we're going to talk about that, but quite a bit tonight as the reign of Tiffany begins. Guys, how you feeling?
Well, I've decided to join the cookout.
Jeff, you're invited to the cookout. You invited to the cookout.
He's in.
You gotta bring your mic closer to.
I missed the mark here, where I should have. Where did I get the comment down? Yeah, like this was if not for that cookout, guys, you know.
If it wasn't for the cookout.
If not for the cookout.
Yeah, these are spoken by cookout members as well. Oh, sorry, you still have host judge on your thing from earlier.
I am both the host and the judge.
Yeah.
Things.
So from Trivial Debates, check it out.
You're all gonna hear me judge tonight because I got some judginess that I'm gonna lay down on some of these folks. This episode.
Yeah, it was. We gotta talk about. Okay, the Cookout Alliance. Everybody is staying strong. Jeff says he's joining. Can't beat him. Join him. He says, "What else is your option? Because if you're if you're Claire or you're Alyssa or you're Sarah Beth, your days are numbered."
Not only will I join them, but I will sacrifice any sense of an individual game I have for some chicken.
Right.
Okay, so Jeff, you were invited to the cookout. You might get uninvited for some chicken. Seriously. Come on, man.
Bring chicken to the equation.
They're all chickens. That's why I made that reference.
Yeah.
He's eating chicken because
that won't get misinterpreted at all.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Is it fried chicken by any chance? No,
it is, but it's Chinese.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And there was the cookout. I'm getting something in my
buzzing.
You hearing that?
Let me ask you a question. Is it gone?
Yes.
This headset. This thing. Okay. Go ahead. I gotta fix.
Yeah, it was very subtle, but I was like definitely becoming more aware of it. I was like, what is that? Okay, sorry about that. Tonight, guys, we saw here that Tiffany, she came here to play a game.
Player.
That was right at the top of the show. She she did it.
I did it!
Did it feel like Dora?
Amazing.
We did it. Yeah, we did it.
Jeff, were you excited about tonight's Tiffany's HOH? No, you weren't jubilant with her through this segment. No, why not?
Amanda was because I don't particularly respect her strategy.
Okay,
go on.
America disagrees with you.
Oh,
America seems to be for it.
And good for them. She's
amazing.
I feel this is my problem with her is that I think she tries to cover all of her bases so much, and the only person that can see through her game style and Xavier's game style, they kind of play the same game, is Derek F, which is sad.
Yeah. Does he see through it completely?
I think so. But he's
Girl,
still gonna...
I don't trust you.
But it's not like he's gonna do anything or can do anything.
Yeah.
So...
No, he could have rolled
Derek
some points.
and I might fight like siblings, but we are working together. I do.
If it wasn't for the cookout, trust me, your ass would be done. I will make sure you were gone.
Like, those are empty threats. Honestly, those are empty threats.
What does he mean if it wasn't? He's not contractually obligated. You know, he could. This is
They
Big
all
Brother.
signed. At
They
the
all
beginning
signed,
of the
they're
season,
you can't
they
get
signed-
out of this. You're
they-
in the alliance now.
they
It's
signed the
just-
contract.
It was signed in blood.
Yes.
You can't. So Derek F is he's on board to be down to the final 6, but will he go past 6th place?
See, they all signed on the Martin Luther King notary sheet and used a Malcolm X commemorative pen, so they can they can't break it. It's an unbreakable vow. Okay.
Okay, wait, fair enough. Because Hannah was broken up tonight.
If not for the cookout.
Oh, poor Derek X would still be with us.
Okay, so in reply to Jeff's previous comments in the last episode, so on feeds, the understanding was that DX was going home, regardless, right? And the question was who was going to give him the sympathy votes. So all of them, right, wanted to give him sympathy votes, and like Ozzy was like, I really want to give him a sympathy vote. And then Kylan was like, well, whose vote do you want to give up then? Do you want me to vote for him then? And you get to vote to keep him? Because we can't test fate. It needs to be that number. So it just fell on that side of the equation. So there was no chance that Ozzy and Tiffany were going to vote for DX. It was always going to be this way. It was just who was going to be the ones who gave him the sympathy votes.
Okay, yeah. So they're playing PR.
Well, not just well, I guess it's more jury management as well, because they can always say like, "Hey, 2 people voted for you. It wasn't unanimous. We didn't want to give you unanimous, like voting out, but we also want to give you the impression that, hey, we did vote to keep you, quote unquote, keep you." So Hannah wanted to vote for him, and Kylan, who looked very shaken up, also, wanted to vote for him. So
Yeah, well, that brings me to a Kylan clip here. One of my new favorite Kylan.
It doesn't mean that I'm not sad about it.
He's not sad about it.
he has the same cadence every time he talks. It doesn't mean that I'm not sad about it. Like, I have to start my conversation and then I'm going to finish what I'm going to be saying in the sentence. Because, we both came with the best intentions. So let's just reset.
I can, yes, we are bringing good intentions.
We are bringing good intentions and goodwill.
And
it doesn't mean that I'm not sad about it.
He starts the sentence, pauses, and then finishes the rest of the sentence.
Well, what if we drop the attitude on both of our parts?
What if we both drop the attitude on both of our parts? It's gonna annoy me.
Yeah, no, Kylan. Well, okay, and then we got Kylan tonight, and then Claire, who say what you will for Claire, Jeff, but her accent and her DRs are they challenge me because I'm like, what? Get it out, Claire. Just say it. But then she has like this very distinct way of talking that I'm like mesmerized by a little bit too, where it's just, she's like,
so proud of Tiffany. I'm so excited.
Oh, proud of Tiffany.
When like the 12-year-old girl version of Claire comes out and she's like, oh, I'm so excited. Like it's almost like she has braces or something going on, and she's like,
she's all that, Dave. She's all that.
So excited.
So excited.
Yeah, Tiffany was she was loving it, and she's like, as long as that coin of destiny.
As long as Coin of Destiny doesn't screw us over.
Screw us
over. Is she from Wisconsin?
She's probably a transplant.
She works in New York. I think she's originally from Wisconsin or Michigan.
Oh, there you go.
Screw us over.
Screw us over.
She kind of has the Minneapolis, Fargo kind of accent.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Do you feel bad for her in the season, in the show?
No, because I feel like she was thinking last episode. I said this to Amanda. I feel like she was using her head with DX, and now she's right back to what? Yeah, what's going on, Tiffany? Tell me what to do. You're my only friend in this house, so I will.
You're my only friend.
Yeah.
My only friend.
So excited.
So excited. Only only friend.
So proud of you, Tiffany.
So proud of Tiffany. I'm
Girl
So
power.
proud.
Yeah. I just don't think she's thinking for herself enough. She's too. Most of the players in this house are not thinking for themselves. Even the ones that are doing well are not thinking for themselves enough. The only one I really see doing it is Xavier, and it's just like at the same time I'm kind of like you're not. It's easy. Like you're just like pretty man, and everything's just going your way. I don't even feel like he's putting that much work in. You know?
Right.
He doesn't have to.
He's kind of the Cody Calafiore of the season.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Right. And we'll see if he wins. For my draft's sake, I hope so. But yeah,
if you win, Dave, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I know. Good.
So pissed.
I'll revel in this victory. I don't with my first pick. I'll be like, I know how to pick him. It doesn't even matter if I have the first pick, but it helps. Because Daryl definitely would have taken Xavier before me if he could have. What about that celebration in the pantry with like Claire and Tiffany right at the top of the show tonight? And like it was like more and more of the women were joining, right? Is this what you were alluding to the other night, Jaemeel, on the spoiler section where you were saying that the women were having a huge, or I think someone in the comments actually maybe was saying that. Now that
a lot of the women are gunning to get farther in the game, right? Because there were comments made saying that the men are doing all the heavy lifting, and so those words circulate, and people have certain feelings about that whole situation. So it's kind of like a little vindication.
I think there are two particular men like Kyland and Xavier who are well more connected in the social aspects of the game and have done well that way. But like that's about as far as I would take as far as lifting. That's not even like that's shared though, so it's not even like you can give credit. Like I don't think any of the men deserve a ton of credit.
There was a distinct conversation with Xavier, Kylan, and Derek F. talking about comp wins and how much heavy lifting they've been doing throughout the season, to which everyone was like, why the hell is DF in this conversation? Because the man is done fiddly diddly squat.
He's running the game, Jaemeel. How dare you?
He's running the game. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Girl, he's running the game. And don't you tell him he's not. And he's comforting Kylan. He's putting work in.
Yeah. Don't you? Kylan's like Batman. You never know what he's thinking. Speaking of which,
is Derek F the Penguin or is he the Riddler or what is he? I don't know. He's definitely a villain. A Batman.
Kyland?
No, Derek F.
Derek F.
Because I was gonna say like I feel like Kylan's. I don't know who Kyland is. Clayface? I don't know. Like
he's the Batman, and then
he's not Batman.
Obviously, Tara Beth's Robin.
Now, that whole like a lot of cuddling between Kylan and Derek F. Later on when they were kind of mourning Derek X, I guess, or at least Kylan was. I don't think Derek F. was just happy that he's the only Derek left.
Oh, he's petty that way.
Jaemeel, DF did do a lot today. He threw the coin of destiny for Claire. He threw it.
Yeah,
Did he throw this? I don't think he did.
How many did Claire win? How many?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. For the record, we got cut off at the commercial where Claire was going like she only had one, so we don't know what happened past that point in the show. For the record, yes. So if anybody knows what happened to, I guess Claire won, right? But
yeah,
did you?
Claire won.
She got two. She got 2 points.
I can tell you exactly what happened. I saw it. She got 3 points.
3 points.
Yeah, and one of them threw went right through the window and even got through like the catching thing. So we were wondering whether or not that counted. And then so then Tiffany had like this flipper thing where she like hit down on this like lever and it flipped the coin, a giant coin, like this, a coin this big. And it was a crown for heads and a BB logo for tails, and it landed on heads, which meant that whoever won the coin of destiny was oh my god, I can't talk, was going to be able to
supplant the HOH, yeah,
take over the HOH, which was Claire. So then they had the whole moment where it was like, okay, now Tiffany's HOH is over, but she's still safe. And now, Kylan and Sarah Beth, you are safe. Okay, let's see who the new nominees are. Kylan, Sarah Beth.
So spoilers as to
Oh,
what happened.
did that not air on the show tonight?
It did.
I did it. I mean, like
Okay, so
spoilers in terms of our recap of the episode. We kind of just went straight to the end.
Well, yeah, because as far as recappers go tonight as podcasters, we don't even know how to fully recap this, or like some of us don't as much.
Well, you
Jeff,
guys didn't see what happened, so
yeah,
I
no,
Fair
thank you for filling us in. Yeah, because it was kind of short, but I had to run off to record. So excited and other things.
So excited! You're my best friend. I'm gonna give a
Don't be screwing us over.
game over.
The coin of destiny.
I just don't want to mess up Tiff's HOH, even though it's my HOH and it's secret and it's an enormous amount of power. What do I do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw that Tiffany won last week or on Thursday, and we see her. Yeah, we see her get her HOH room. Jeff, proceed.
Oh, what with the?
I mean, Dave, proceed in terms of the recap from the HOH.
Sorry. What? Where am I going?
You got an HOH room.
Yeah, she got. Oh, sorry. Yes, she did.
See,
She sure did. And in that HOH room, she had quite the sequence, right? She got her letter and everything else, but she also had Beyonce, didn't she?
I'm waiting for you to play that clip.
Okay, then I have more Derek F.
Did you play it?
You didn't hear it?
Jeff, did you hear it?
No.
I did not hear it, dude. That's why I was just like not talking.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Again, I heard it. Here we go. No?
You're impotent, sir.
I'm impotent. Hold on, let me reset here.
Let's just drop the attitude, reset, and then we'll figure this out. And maybe don't yell at me for not saying good morning.
She got Beyonce.
That worked.
Okay, that worked. Okay, I have to talk in this matter. When I saw that, I wanted to leave the cookout. Them going crazy over Beyonce, it's like people like lining up to eat potato salad with raisins. I'm sorry. Yuck.
You feel stereotypical?
Yuck. No, I just think that Beyonce is at best mediocre. At best.
I'm not a huge fan, but I liked her in Dreamgirls, and she can.
Well, she was playing herself in Dreamgirls. Okay, she's explicitly trained in exiling members from a group and taking over. So
Destiny's Child, I think. Are you
Yes.
Are you referring? Yes.
yes,
Exactly.
yes. That's
Well, Derek F. He don't care.
bro.
Yeah. See, that's for a Beyonce. So because he gets to listen to a Beyonce CD.
Yeah, he gets to listen to Lemonade.
Well, I'm glad he's passionate about his music.
Well, the great news of supplanting the HOH, it's gone. Don't have it.
Oh, you lose your music.
Yeah, lose your music.
Beyonce's gone. That
Yep,
was the
Beyonce's-
coin of destiny. The coin of destiny's child
Yes.
came to her and took away the true meaning of Christmas. Yes. So, poor Derek F. If only he had won. Well, I guess either way, that music would have been taken away because he would have won it either way, right?
I don't know what would have came in his. Would have come in his? I don't
maybe
know.
he might have had Beyonce on his anyway.
Her HOH was too bootylicious for that.
Wow.
I couldn't even say it.
Almost. You almost made it.
I almost did it. Almost made it there.
And then after, okay, so what did you guys think of when she finally got into the HOH room and she read her letter and we learned about like her background and her mama, grandmother, surrogate, I don't know, like all that. Were you touched?
Is it bad that I just honestly didn't care? I've seen so many. Like, well, here's my HOH room, and then a sappy letter. Like, I've seen enough of them to fill. Like, I've had my fill. What I wanted to see was Sarah Beth's HOH room and that shade. But instead, I get this one. It's nice, and I'm happy for her. But we can progress the narrative.
Yeah, I was better than when Kylan had his letter and stuff, for me. So I like Tiffany more as a character on the show. So even though she's kind of like this weird contradiction of a few things for me, but so I was okay with it. It was fine enough. And then we started getting into to Tiffany having more one-on-ones in the HOH room, with Hannah, and later on with Derek F, where he was like, "Girl, because how well Tiffany reads the room in the house is a little bit. I go up and down with it. I'm like, either Tiffany has a really strong understanding of the social dynamics and has her finger on the pulse and kind of knows where all the bodies are buried, and or she doesn't fully, obviously with Derek F, I don't think she either doesn't care or doesn't know.
I think it's the former. I think she has a good read in the social dynamics of the house, but just some things she don't care about. She don't care about Derek F's feelings at all. All. Just how she doesn't care about Oz's feelings for real, right? The only reason why her and Oz are in a good place is one, strange bedfellows, and two, because Xavier kind of smoothed things over, right? So that's the only reason. Amazing.
Yeah, Hannah crying with her up there. Like, I just Derek X. She's like, he was my friend too. And I think they're worried about being seen as villains for voting out a very popular player as Derek X and a good guy they liked. I get it, but it doesn't mean we don't feel sad about it.
Well, we're gonna talk about the monetary values, and I don't think they have anything to worry about at this point.
Right. What about this monarchy thing tonight too?
So.
Red herring.
It happened at the end of the last eviction, where they paired up just to kind of sure their bases that they'll be fine just in case any of them win HOH.
Yeah.
And it's the first alliance that Tiffany is not a part of since the what was the big Frenchie one? The Bomb Squad Slaughterhouse. Yes. But it's a fake alliance.
It's a fake alliance.
It's a fake alliance.
Kylan and Xavier should have been given quick DR sessions just to explain this.
Well, Xavier kind of did with his just laughing it off.
Right.
The show is just trying to get to 6, and then the real game will occur.
We know we have to go through the motions for 2 weeks to get to it.
It's hard though. It's like, does the show just totally give in and just say, oh, we're gonna just present everyone looking like idiots at the whim of the cookout, and the only thing that can stop the cookout is the cookout? Or do we do this kind of hands off, just in case things turn a certain way, we're gonna present it as the cookout still being a thing, but there's still a chance. That's what I feel like this season since episode since Frenchie was gone has been that way. Just kind of hoping things turn differently. That DX with production sequence kind of said all that it needed to say.
Right. It's because the people who are running the house they have this locked down. They don't even have to do that much, they just have to make sure there's no major waves. Tiffany's likely to do too much because that's just Tiffany, right? But here,
now she doesn't even have to. They've taken the power out of her hands, so she's she doesn't have to worry about it now. She can't accidentally do too much because she can't.
No, she's been dethroned.
Yep.
She was kicked out of this monarchy. You were never invited in the first place. Here, listen.
We should put our hands in.
Monarchy.
So stupid.
Put our hands in. 3, 2, 1.
I'm surprised they didn't reject that there wasn't a monarchy already in Big Brother as a alliance name.
Maybe in Big Brother Canada. I don't know, but no, there isn't either that I can recall. Okay, so these fake alliances, kind of a waste of time, I thought, especially to show it here tonight because it doesn't really play into anything other than it's what Sarah Beth wants to talk about in the diary room, but it's not really the point.
Wait, are going to talk about Sarah Beth explained to Xavier what Derek X was saying about her during the during the eviction speeches.
Can you explain that one a little bit more to me? What was going on with that?
So Derek X alludes to Sarah Beth being okay. I have to. So there was a misunderstanding. Sarah Beth misunderstood what DX said. She is under the impression that DX said that she is cold AF, right? And he's like, that's a kind of mean thing to say. But what he really said was that she is like Nicole F.
Oh, is that what he? Okay, yeah, I heard Nicole F on the show. She heard cold as F.
Cold AF. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's why she was sobbing.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was not. I was like, Sarah Beth, you're better than this. Like, come on.
It was what?
It's just Nicole Franzel.
So no one told her. No one told her. I think until Kylan told her, like a day after, I believe.
They were waiting to tell her too.
No one thought it was a big deal, but she was kind of sad about it. And then he had explained to her, it's like, no, he meant Nicole F, like Nicole Franzel.
Oh,
which to me is not necessarily a compliment. I might want to take cold AF instead.
I would be upset. And I will be mad.
I will be mad.
There was also Sarah Beth and Tiffany in the HOH room tonight, Jaemeel, where they were just, I don't know, conversing, and it's just like neither of them are giving anything. They don't like each other. They haven't liked each other for many weeks.
And you can tell. You can so tell. Oh my gosh.
Do you give Sarah Beth credit for giving all the effort she can? Like, knowing that, it's not a great situation for her. She went from HOH, and now somebody she's not aligned with and not happy with who went last week is now directly got her in the crosshairs. And it's pretty upfront about that.
I think it's a bad read by Sarah Beth to think that there wasn't going to be people angry at DX being gone, right? And she thought it was just going to be Hannah. See, I didn't say Hannah. Hannah. And, she's paying the consequence of it. She, as we later learn for later on the episode, she gets very emotional because she kind of sees the consequences of what she thought was a master stroke. And Kylan was like hyping her up the entire week last week, and then continued to do so. It's like, you did the right thing. Don't second guess yourself. Don't worry about it. We'll figure things out. But
get it together, Hannah.
I'm trying to be sympathetic concerning people getting sad about people leaving, but I don't know. I can't put myself in their shoes.
Will Derek X ever be able to forgive Hannah for what she did to him? I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to hold a grudge.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's okay, Hannah. Get it together, Hannah. It's okay.
Yep.
Get it together, Hannah.
Okay, the nomination ceremony itself was kind of not. Oh, Xavier went up automatically. Like, that was kind of right off the bat. They got that out of the way. Here comes Jeff. And then during the nominations ceremony, Tiffany was wearing the red bathrobe, the HOH bathrobe. Which did anyone else notice? I've seen this before. It's not the first time it's ever been done, but it's a bit unusual to wear that for the ceremony.
It's in the morning. You can tell it's early in the morning they're doing it. I don't think they used to do that, so that's probably why you think it's unusual.
Okay.
Good for Tiffany. Bring back the key wheel and she'll dress up.
There's just something very pretentious to me about this velour robe you get as HOH with it says HOH on it, and you get to wear around you're the prefect or something. And you got special privilege. I don't know. It's just so she's like, and here's my keys, and because I'm always watching out for Tiffany to be sort of have HOH-itis, right? Like how much she got to really I love being the queen.
Well, she definitely does, and I do think that, I mean, it's, how is it not obvious to the other players in the house that this girl thinks she's the mastermind, is obviously in the DR portraying herself as the mastermind, and when you're actually the mastermind, you don't let anyone else in the house know you are, unless maybe one other person, and that's it. She's telling everybody in the cookout, and then she wants to go head to head against those people at 6. She's gonna lose. You know, like she. That's what I think. Do you guys think she's gonna win? Really? Like,
Win this game?
yeah.
I think she can. I think she can win this game. I don't know if she will. I don't think she doesn't have this locked down by any means.
I think she is going to get taken out by one of the guys, and vice versa. They're going to take each other out. I don't think it's. I think it's going to be Kylan and Tiffany are going to be gone, and it's going to be like Hannah, Azza, and DX. They're kind of going to be fighting for the crown.
That'd be interesting.
That would mostly be Hannah versus like DX versus
Ozza's
Axel.
at the end.
She could. She's as it stands right now. She's perfect goat.
Yeah. What did you guys think too about Kylan going up on the block tonight next to Sarah Beth? Because he kind of feels he doesn't feel too worried about it, right? Like he just feels like he's doing this as a favor to the alliance, and
no cookout member should be worried.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be, right? But there's no part of him that's like, well, what if my alliance decides to backstab me and uses this as a chance to take me out, right?
Xavier's there. Xavier's a technically bigger threat, no?
I'd say, almost equal. Like it's like they're both important. Like if either of them are attempting to take out, but and so if you were, but that would require like some kind of, I don't know, hunger to shake this up, do something really bold, a big move to make a statement. And I don't know if the appetite is there for that.
There's only a couple people who are absolutely willing to do that. And it's the two guys. It is DF and, it's everyone except Azza as it stands right now. All right. But they're not going to do it until 6. Right.
And we're at what, 8 right now? 9? 9?
Are we at 9?
We're at 9. We're at 9 because there's 3 non-cookout left, right? Sarah Beth, Alyssa, and Claire.
Yeah.
Right. And then we went to High Roller's room after that, and You
want me to break down the money?
Yeah, go ahead. Break down the money.
Okay, so I have it written down here. The first person that we had is Azza. So she previously had 100 BB bucks. America gifted her with 50. In her envelope, she had 50, resulting in a total of 200 BB bucks. Not enough to play.
You needed 250 to play. So,
then you had Xavier, who previously had 0. America gave him 75. Envelope had 50, leaving him a total of 125. Once again, could not play. Then you had Alyssa, who previously also had 0. America gave her 75. And in her envelope, she had 100, leaving her with 175. Then we had Hannah, who previously had 150. Previously had 50. Where? My scroll. Hannah had 150. America gave her 100, so she was a top money getter. Envelope had 50, leaving her with 300, which she decided to skip. And then
did she not play? Why did Hannah not play?
So you had that whole sequence where the worry is, well, I shouldn't say the worry. The news came that the anonymous HOH would not be able to become head of household next week. So who knows how that's going to work? Are they just going to pretend to have that person play and then just disqualify them sometime during the actual HOH event?
They say to that person, you have to throw it at some point.
But like, what if they don't? Why would you take that chance? Right?
If they don't throw it, like I don't think that could happen. Like if they actually tried to win it,
it just seems kind of stupid though to leave it up to that type of situation.
Because if they won it, then they person would, what are you doing? Like you couldn't win, so now we have to tell everybody. Like, and so it's if you want to create like a big headache for them, like it's a good way to go about it. But I don't think you're edit too much after that.
Wouldn't you like if your if your big brother just say if you do not throw it, I guess the only option would be to automatically penalize you with a nomination.
It depends what the competition is. It depends, it could be a timed thing, and they just give you a fake time, or who knows. So it's like,
I guess so. It's just weird to have that. Anyways, next is Tiffany, who previously had 75 BB bucks. America gave her 100, meaning that she's in the upper echelon as well. Envelope had 50, resulting in a total of 225.
Yeah. Can we go back to Hannah for a second? Because I got a problem with Hannah's strategy here.
Okay.
Because we can't have too many non-cookout not play for HOH week. Like if this secret HOH, then you can't. But Tiffany can play next week now.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
can't she?
Hannah's argument.
No, she can. I think
Hannah's argument is nonsense to me. It's like you have such a power in the numbers, Hannah, your alliance, that whether you play or not, this is the last week to play the BB Bucks, right? They don't go past this. So who cares? Why just decline to play? Just play.
It's just the thought process is if everything works as it should, and Claire's the only one who can afford to win and play, then
if she's the only one, but she wasn't. But Hannah could. It was just what if Derek F had won this? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really matter. I guess that much. I guess it could for Tiffany.
They just didn't want a situation where there's less chances for them to win HOH next week, because if Sarah Beth or Alyssa wins, and they in their mind think that the monarchy is still a thing, then that means cookout members could be placed on the block. Right.
Okay. Fine. I guess.
So the thought process is if they can control that HOH, then they practically have set them up in a great situation. Now, in terms of Hannah and Tiffany, Claire not competing next week is not a problem because
it's like an ideal situation for them. They got Claire to do exactly what they wanted. Tiffany can play next week. They keep everything the same. She can't play next week. She might even be one of their targets nominees. This was they duped her. She is one of the worst Big Brother players you've ever seen. I think
at this point you can't really crap on a lot of these people because they're playing poker and not realizing that the other the dealer is handing out aces and kings to one side of the table, and you're left there dealing with numbered cards, right?
No.
She's not playing with a full deck.
It's a great hand. It's not that good.
She's not playing with a full deck. At the same time, if she's able to compete, she survives till 6. If you're the women and Claire's on your side, so Claire, Azza, Hannah, and Tiffany are all on the same side. If Claire wins, that means she's going to be on your side to take out one of the guys.
Okay.
All right? That's how she survives.
They got this figured out better than I do. I got to tell you. Okay.
It's a lot of hope and chance.
To quote Alonzo from Training Day, the shit is chess. It's not checkers.
Look, if Claire went against their wishes and did what she wanted, then there would have been an issue.
Oh, it would have been hell to pay.
Even with Claire winning the coin of destiny, as Julie said, if let's say Sarah Beth won Veto, right, which we don't know if she did or not, who's getting renommed? It's not going to be Tiffany who's choosing it. It's going to be Claire, and Claire would put up DEF. So that's the only situation that could come up.
It's not even that likely, though.
We'll see. Okay.
Back to the BB Bucks report. Sorry.
Yes. Tiffany, I already said 75. America gave 100. Envelope 50, 225. Sarah Beth, who scorned America, who went America, Haktua, right?
Honestly, America can wipe their butt with the BB Bucks.
She previously had $50, 50 BB bucks. So she would need 100 for from America and 100 in an envelope to be able to compete. Well, she got 100 in an envelope. She had $50 previous, and America says, F you, you get 50, not 100. Too bad, too sad. Only 200. Sarah Beth can't compete.
Honestly, America can wipe their butt with the BB bucks.
And yeah, American can wipe their butt, period, she says.
Yeah. So then Derek F got sorry. I never did.
He was rolling in the BB box. He had so much.
So I think he had 150. So previously 150. America only gave him 75, not 100. And he had 100 in his envelope and a bonus of 100 with 425 altogether. So he was able to compete. And then Claire previously had 100. America gave her 100. Envelope 50 with a total of 250. So in terms of the rankings, you got Claire, you got Hannah, and you got Tiffany all getting 100, right? You got Xavier, you got Alyssa, and you have Derek F in the second position, and then Azza, Sarah Beth, and Kyland with the 50s.
Let me ask you this, though. Claire, how did she get so much money?
Because people are going for her because they know that she's not in the huge alliance.
You mean that America's like that she's getting votes because she's the underdog position?
Yes. But
Okay.
America also doesn't like Sarah Beth because one, she got rid of DX, and two, she also, spit in America's face.
Yeah, she tells them to wipe their butt.
Yes, wipe their butts.
I was shocked that Claire had this much going in, like tonight. I was like, "What?" Okay, but anyway,
I thought you would have been shocked with Tiffany and Hannah after voting out DX, getting 100.
Not really, because I think like America generally doesn't like you vote out like a fan favorite. I don't think they hate you for it. They respect it. I think a lot of the fan base does. At least it's a split issue.
Okay.
So
some people were saying that the reason why Derek F got 100 the first 2 weeks was because there was confusion between Derek F and Derek X, and once Derek X was gone, all those people stopped voting, dropping him down to the second tier. So the split was so strong with Derek X's fan base that he was able to prop up 2 names to the top level.
that's impressive.
He's winning America's favorite player.
Yeah.
He's
Derek
got it
X.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, he's that popular.
Yeah, it's a lock.
So everything I do, I try to be the best at it.
Well, he'll be able to go home. He's like, you didn't win, but you got the you got the prize. So
impressive. Okay, so he gets Derek ends up with the 425. We get this showdown, and this is as we said, was kind of where the episode got cut off tonight for us. But Claire ultimately won this, right? On the show, it happened, and then she's just gonna be a puppet for Tiffany. Is the result?
Yes.
Woo! Exciting.
Yep.
We need a cliffhanger for this.
But we're left with the ending of the show with one possible thing that can ruin all their plans is if Sarah Beth wins the veto, then their whole plan will go to crap.
Well, what's plan B? Alyssa?
Well, they would hope that that Claire would put up Alyssa, but you would have to convince her.
Well, oh, Claire. Yeah, you have to convince Claire.
Correct.
Claire's not in the monarchy.
Do you know what the theme song for the last 3 weeks of this show should be? Wake me up when September ends, because that's how I feel about the last few weeks of this show. Because it has just been so straightforward, no gameplay, boring, just sad. Just sad. I mean, just as a fan of the game, I hope we're getting to spoilers, and when we get there, hopefully we get some juicy stuff. But yeah,
I'm ready, Jeff.
I'm ready. Up when they actually start playing.
Jamil's taking a nap. He's going in the hammock.
Is this? I feel like the majority of BB fans probably feel the same way I do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a negative.
Just wait. It's going to be worth the wait.
It's time to get wild. I think it's just gonna happen very quickly. Like there'll be a double, and then boom, we're gonna be down to 4.
I think we're waiting for this catalyst. We're waiting for like this release of the tension, and I think it's the double. But like the fact that the producers are waiting this long to do the double, I think is a problem.
They kind of had to. Once they did this stupid high rollers club BS, they couldn't just break. How would they be able to do high roller and do double eviction?
This whole high roller room was a complete waste of time. Like, but I guess it's the only thing they think will entertain us while there's no gameplay.
Well,
I think it has the opposite. All they do is obsess about these twists and how they're good at like defeat them. How they're good. It's a chess game.
Do you feel that? Don't you feel that sometimes a twist? So BB says, Jeff, would you please write us all a Hallmark card?
Roses are red, violets are blue. This season sucks, and so do all of them.
Two.
All right.
Two. Okay. All of them too.
You have to finish out that run.
Yes. I feel like a lot of times when you have these kind of high concept twists, people pay conservatively, right? It kind of doesn't push like movement. People feel like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen, so I got to go with the tried and true alliance. We just have to get through these weeks with the numbers that we have, and then we can start making more independent decisions. So it doesn't spur individuality or movement. It just constricts people's options.
Well, yeah, like remember when like they all moved in, right? The house guests, and she was like, "Are you risk takers? Are you gamblers?" And they're all like, "Nope." I don't know. Like you went with this theme of like risk and reward and big payoffs and all this stuff, and really, like these people hate that. They're that's the exact opposite of their personality.
That's casting, and whoever themed out this season did not talk to each other at all.
Yeah, it's a big disconnect here.
Yeah.
With everything. It's why we're going like, okay, like they're getting pushed and try this and you know, and play your bucks. And everyone's like, no. And then Derek asks like, I was throwing this on purpose.
Like Frenchie's a good example of someone who is fit for this season, right?
They voted all those people out. They voted out all like the
wild cards.
The wild cards. The people who would have done these kind of a more loungish play, right? Was it? Can we blame this on Claire? Was Christy? We'll never know for sure. Because I never even saw like what Christy's like intro package was. I don't even know what her personality was. But
it would have been her dancing, you know, and then her probably wearing a wig and taking it off.
I got a better Hallmark card for you. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. There's my Hallmark card.
Book it.
Thank you, Green Day. Thank you, Billy Jones.
Well, I think that you just have like I don't know. It's just like when these things happen, when these dominant alliances have this down, and especially this situation where there's no way it's going to crack. This alliance is unique. It is like it stands apart from anything else, right?
It's for the culture. It's for the culture.
It's the culture. It's for the culture.
Look, honestly, if there was a bunch of Newfoundlanders in Big Brother Canada, it would be the exact same thing. There's no way they would crack. They're like, we're getting a Newfie to the end.
But the non-Newfies would figure it out at some point. It would become, like the fact that like Claire got duped tonight and she's not even considering, and Sarah Beth got lied to straight to her face. She's like, I could believe Tiffany, so I'm choosing to. You know, she could be lying to me. It's like.
But what about Kylan? You have when you think like, oh, I have this great thing with Kylan, and in secret, Kylan has no allegiance to Sarah Beth. He knows he'll be sad about it, but he has to cut her. You know, it's just like she's like he's using her, and she doesn't realize it. You know, but how can she? Like, is Kylan just that good of a liar?
No,
is she that bad?
No, it's. I just think it's suspending disbelief, right? Like. Yeah, like with Hannah and DX, like the fact, like it kind of was bothering her tonight. The fact that she, you know, like you played the clip earlier, David. If it wasn't for the cookout, you know, and it's just this whole thing that, like, okay, so this whole game isn't even, they're not even playing. It's just a big alliance that is tight-lipped and is not really, it's just controlling everything, and it's not really fun to watch as an audience member. Like, let's face it,
they're all spies. They're all spies who've integrated into a different culture, per se, in my analogy. And they made friends with neighbors, and the switch has been turned, and they have to take care of their spy business. That's what's happening. One by one, they're like, oh, I'm sad that I had to kill my next door neighbor, but unfortunately the motherland requires me to do so, right? This is like the Americans.
Xavier always does what he says, Jeff.
It's going to be hot this summer. Get ready, America, because the cookout is taking over. The table is basically set.
It was set. It was set in week 2.
Guys, is there something wrong with this game when, like, the last few years, like, it's not just this season. It's like the way Cody won too. I mean, it was very easy, compared, like, he coasted to the end, like, no, he was never really in danger, but he should have been, but the pregame changed everything. The Paul Abrahamian season, he coasted the whole time and got everybody to do what he wanted, no matter when he was in HOH. Like, is there something wrong here? Like, can we critique this game for kind of what's going on the last 4 or 5 seasons? Because
they did. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It's like, do you guys feel that way? Like, do you feel kind of like that Big Brother is kind of broken and they haven't been able to figure out a way to get these players to be self-interested in their own game?
Well, does it come down to education? Like, that these recruits are just uneducated too much about how the game works? Because to address B-Bean's question here, did the brigade have this strategy? Because what's happening here is you get this dominant alliance. They are tight and they are efficient and they never crack. And then they all have this +1 strategy that just covers them in case the other side wins.
Yep.
So
it keeps them aware of where all the bodies are things, so they can strategize against it. Tifton invented it. That's brigade. That's brigade 101.
Right, and that's what's happening, Jeff. That's why this we get this.
It's awful.
That's what the committee did last year too.
I know, and Paul Abrahamian did it in his season, and it's just awful to watch. As I get, if you're in the game, it makes sense, and that's the best way to give yourself the best odds to win. Like, when you enter that house, you have like a 1 in 16 chance, right? And then it drastically becomes a higher odd because of, basically, if you're not in the big alliance, then you're basically your odds go to like 2%. Whereas, like, if you're in the 6 right now, you're in like an 80% chance to win, because it's all relative to, because they're so strong. And on the odd chance that somebody outside the big alliance wins, they often convince those people to do something against their own interests, and it's just like not fulfilling as an audience member.
Right. Because once you go in as a player, as a house guest, your obligation truly is only to yourself as the player, to do your best job to win. However, that is not necessarily to be an entertainer, although that is part of it.
My issue is how this game has been, I guess, more or less constructed in the last couple of years, which is, to me, there isn't enough tension between house guests. When there's tension against house guests, so I guess I'm kind of answering this question. BB's asking Jeff, how could BB prevent large alliances? This is my answer to this.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've lost in Big Brother is the fact that the tensions aren't high enough between house guests. That's been gone, right? Outside of just interpersonal like issues that come up because J doesn't like G, right? What I'm talking about is early season, you had the grocery comp. You had so many different competitions or things that would kind of pit people against each other week after week, where people are like, I'm mad because I wanted macaroni salad, and thing went into business for himself, like, and got something else. You don't think that Dirk F would be selfish and get something for himself over someone else's? If they have a salad, or something like chocolate, and a lot of people want a chocolate, or get access to a Beyonce CD, you don't think DF is going to run over people and get that Beyonce CD? He doesn't care about other people in regards to that. You have to constantly put these people in tension amongst themselves, where they have to they're constantly on their toes, and they're like, I know it might be my best interest to work with A, B, and C, but you know what? I don't like them. Screw them. I'd rather this person be gone. And that's completely out of it. It is so sanitized, right, that people can just collude more or less. There's no tension, and it's just like, I hope I don't say anything wrong, right? That can mess up the alliance. So that is the issue. That is an issue.
Here's my suggestions for this question. We need more. Like, I'm not pro. You should start smoking cigarettes today or anything. I think they're bad, but I liked when they had a harder edge person that they used to cast. They used to cast more blue collar, rough people. Like Evil Dick, like the Amanda Zuckermans. Like
all walks of life. Maybe is that what you're sort of?
I think
we're
getting too many preppy kids and too savvy players, like these lawyers and these cops, and they're coming in to the house and they're making it a safe zone. And guess what? Reality TV is supposed to be messy. Go watch The Housewives. Okay, it's nothing but messy. And BB is, yeah, you're right, Jaemeel. They've sanitized the show, and it's worse off. You know, we got Julie Chen giving you words of wisdom, and she can't even get she can't even find a good Buddhist like proverb to like quote, like just be the good. What is going on?
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves, and remember, be the good. Good night.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they need to stop being so safe, and with not only the casting, but just the personalities. Like, ever since season 15 and the whole thing that happened in that season, there has been a concerted effort to change Big Brother. Zach Rance was the last guy, that was season 16, that I really felt represented the old school style of casting. And ever since then, it's been like we've been getting these Tyler Crispins and Alyssa, and with Angela, we got Nicole F. Oh my God. I just, like, this is who we're getting now. And
timid people, more sanitized, more safer, perhaps. But I think people have changed even over time. I feel like culture's changed.
Maybe you're right.
Here when we talk about so for some of these players like Tiffany and Xavier, they don't. She's like, oh, whatever. Derek F's in my lines. I don't care if he whatever. It doesn't matter because for Derek F, it's all about emotion and personality and whether he likes these people. But for Tiffany and Xavier, I think, and Kylan too, I think they're like, this is a business deal. This is strategically because like they need to get further. So they're not playing this week. They're playing, a few weeks at a time, right?
They're playing without emotion, and then they get the person out, and then they go cry for 2 minutes and go, well, it still upsets me.
Who's Xavier cried over?
Exactly. And he's laughing in the DR. And at least he's kind of being,
because he's a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. He deals with way harsher stuff than on the day-to-day business, day-to-day in his job, right? Like, I mean, BB is a walk in the park for him.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, you feel sad that someone got eliminated from this game. I'm sorry, I'm putting these people away for life. I don't know what type of lawyer it is. It's like, so these petty annoyances, these sad moments in your gameplay, that's nothing. Okay, that is absolutely.
If they found out that I'm actually a lawyer, they might view me as more of a mental threat.
Do you think they would view him more as a mental threat? Or after living with Xavier for 8 weeks, do they kind of know who he is, or not?
Yeah, I think they know who he is. They don't necessarily know his occupation, but
how much does it change it? How much does it change it? I guess it depends on the person.
Do you think it would have made a difference with Tony Vlachos had he just said he was a cop from the beginning on Cagayan? Like, do you think it would have made a difference? I don't know.
I think he could have been labeled a little differently. I don't know. It's hard to say.
What did he say he was?
Construction worker. And again, it goes back to the blue collar, more rougher,
Frenchie, do
way
you
of life.
think that I'm
That was unintentional.
And not that a cop's not a rough way of life, because it is a tough job. I'm not saying it's not, but they're definitely savvy players. It's proven now, the amount of cops we've had on these reality TV shows and how well they do. Derek Lavisser is a great example.
Summer Steve.
We need more cops in there. How about an all cop season?
We need more criminals.
We need more criminals.
Cops and robbers season.
Yeah, cops and robbers season. Let's do it. I'm all for it.
Okay. Do you think that they would? Xavier is too. That means you're loaded. You don't need the money.
So, just because you're a lawyer doesn't necessarily mean that you have money.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All I tell people is go listen to, type in "Don't Be a Lawyer," right, on YouTube, and listen to that song, right? Or Legal Eagle. Listen to Legal Eagle's breakdown of that song, right? There's a lot of parts of being a lawyer where you don't get money. You do not make money at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially if you're like public appointed and stuff, right? Like,
I think I don't know. I think
court.
isn't Xavier a prosecutor or is he a different kind of lawyer?
He's just giving me lawyer vibes.
Giving me lawyer.
He could be environmental. I doubt it. Or
He could be like an FBI agent or whatever too, right? Like where was that?
He's a cop.
He could be FBI or he could be a lawyer.
Ding, ding, ding. Both.
Both. Okay, where were we?
Mr. Luigi got off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, no, like we were talking about how do you counteract big alliances, and I think like the team's twist was meant to try to do that, but it wasn't effective because that's just what players want to do. They want, like, everyone's going to Google what's the best strategy, and it's like create a core alliance, have like a network of other pairs and trios in case things go elsewhere, and just stick to that. And you know, they're playing more like vets in some ways, but only certain of them are playing that advanced game, and the rest of them are playing a very beginner's game, you know, because they're first-time players, and I think it's more understandable. And when you get a new cast like this, you would expect more misfires, more mistakes, but we're not getting that.
Okay, so Xavier is an employee benefits lawyer. The annual salary, on average, is about $100K per year. With a monthly pay of, you know, about 7.5 a month, right?
Okay.
That is top earners make straight up 100K. So that's oh, sorry, I stand corrected. That is in Toronto. Is in Toronto, so that's probably a lot higher in the States. Probably a lot higher in the States right now.
I guess it depends who you work for, but you know, Sam here make a comment. 4 people is good for an alliance. Why? Well, when was the last time you saw just an alliance of 4? That's like, and that was it.
Horsemen.
Usually, there's at least 5.
But you have the people who are actually in an alliance, and then you have like the dregs. The like, I guess you can come. Like the corporation was 2,
Quackpack.
and that was
Quackpack.
Yeah, Quackpack.
Quackpack. I think that was 4.
Wasn't it? It was Shane,
5.
Danielle,
Dan, Ian.
Dan and Ian. Yeah, Quackpack.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
Mary's saying here she really doesn't know how they could get back to being like the good season of Big Brother. Well, you just have to say, Julie Chen, be the good.
Be the good. Or watch Big Brother Canada.
I think Julie Chen needs to go back to being Julie Chen. No more slash the Moonves. Let's get back. We need to, like the Beatles. Get back.
Who was overdoing that on Thursday? There was somebody who was like, "Hello, Julie Chen Moonves," and like I think it was Hannah.
A bunch of them. It was a bunch of them that
Hannah
were
said Moonves like 6 times in like one sentence. Yeah, like I know. Okay, like even if you're rooting for the cookout, right? And I'm not saying I'm not or I am per se, but like
way to play the fence, Dave. Way to play the fence.
I'm gonna call down the middle, and you know, like once we get down to that 6, I want to see something interesting. If you're gonna make me wait this long for it, but will I
rock
get
paper
that?
Scissors, dude. They're gonna rock paper scissors to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna throw it to like, oh, you take it,
Boys.
oh, you take it. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like that, and oh, it's gonna be unbearable.
Pretty
Can't
Boys had
wait.
the same strategy. Like they were the guys alliance that had pairs. They all had showmances, like, and they all cut their showmances one by one, and then it was basically to the final 4, 3, and then 2. Right.
Yep.
Okay. Question here is: who can Kyland and Derek F beat in the final 2? If no one, should they be dragged to final 4? Does anyone realize that? Huh?
Azza.
Yeah, Asa can. Okay, is Kylan not popular? Would he not win in the final 2?
He's not popular.
I thought he was well liked.
I don't. I think that's kind of your mileage may vary.
Sarah Beth likes him.
Yeah, but
I think he's liked, but he's not respected for his gameplay. You know,
I think people don't necessarily like how he kind of acts towards people in general. I know that's kind of vague, but
he's a bit of a snob, I feel like.
He rubs people the wrong way with his attitude. Like, he does care, and people like, oh, well, he's a nice guy, but at the same time, they're kind of like, they do say, especially with Sarah Beth and everything, how he kind of dealt with that.
Right.
Is that something that we can agree to and try and reset and do?
Like, if you're Azza, how would you, like, you come back from that conversation? Like, I don't think I'm liking this dude at all, regardless of if I work with him.
Mary finds him cocky. KVBS. What's KVBS from BB Can?
Lions, right? Lions. KVBS.
BB,
Lions.
well, yeah. I can't remember what that stands for. But yes. And then could they, okay, question here. Could they force 2 teams of 8 to fight against each other until depleted? Can they, like, can they force what we want, Jeff, where it's almost like Survivor and you got like 2 tribes?
Do you know what? You know what's one of the best seasons, like, for that kind of an idea, was the captain season, because that probably actually would have gone a predictable way had Ian not flipped on Boogie, but he did, and that was a big moment in the season, and everyone remembers it, and it was a big deal. Like, I just want one moment in this season where somebody does something, you know. It's just constantly, no, gotta get to 6. Gotta get to 6. No, I'm not even going to consider this. I'm not even going to play the coin flip of destiny and have an anonymous HOH power. Like, what?
Here's the question, and maybe this is something that Survivor does better than Big Brother, and maybe we just because the tribe thing has always never been my favorite thing about Survivor per se, but what it does do is it forces people into these alliances of sorts, because you have this bonding thing with your tribe, right? And when you're out there living, especially like on a beach or whatever, night after night, building shelters, and then when you end up getting like merged in or like swapped, you tend to stick with the people you already know. And like those alliances, it's harder to have like these secret alliances, and it's harder to kind of like pull all that under. So when you merge, you say, okay, well, one side has more than the other, and we know that it can shift within Survivor, but it's not quite the same. I don't think you could do this in Survivor, could you? Like, where you just have this big alliance that nobody really knows about, and then everybody's like working another relationship outside of that, and then the rest of everyone under that majority alliance.
There's not enough time for people to just like hold true, I think. And like, look, the ultimate issue with this is a combination of casting and the fact that they don't have tensions high enough. A previous comment was about the bickering between Azza and Tiffany. If there was, let's say that was going on and something happened in the house, do you think that a simple conversation is going to solve that issue? No, it'll just blow up the house, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Like, also in terms of casting, they have too many people who are willing to play safe, right? Do you think if Victoria from Big Brother Canada was in this game and the cookout was there, she wouldn't go crazy, especially with this anonymous HOH possibility? She's in it for herself, and she doesn't care who she's going to screw over in the process, regardless of
because things are about to get spicy.
She was all about a show.
Nothing is rigged.
Nothing. That was like my favorite part of her exit interview. Don't worry, nothing's rigged. No one was asking if it was rigged. Well, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, everything that happens is so real.
Everything that happens is so real.
Yeah. So anyway,
the KVBS is Kyle. Or was it Brendan, Sheldon, and Vanessa?
No, that's so long ago now.
It's
That was
8. Come on, dude.
But it was like the beginning of the pandemic, and it was just like a really turbulent time. It's you know, maybe we'll see some of those players return.
Did that season end?
Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't finish. Like it was closed down, and then they didn't bring any of those people back.
Right.
They just started fresh.
Like,
which was
deal.
But in the grand scheme of things, I'm kind of glad they did, because if 9 had the people that it did, I don't think it would have been as good as a good of a
Well,
season.
even if they had brought back a few of them, but they chose to bring back none of them. And I don't know. You can like that season. That cast was kind of cursed.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have anything on spoilers? Do we want to go to a spoiler section?
Good spoilers.
Okay, let's get into some spoilers. If you're not going to be hanging around for the spoilers, make sure to check out all our content here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. We're busy all the time, not just with Big Brother, which we do on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, always at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, following the airing. We also are doing Marvel Cinematic Universe content starting in 2021, which started with WandaVision and through the different Disney Plus content that has been at least finished so far. And you know, we did Black Widow and more recently Loki. And coming up, we're going to be talking about Shang-Chi. Or is it Shang-Chi? I think.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which will be coming out Thursday. I'm going to be seeing it Friday. Jameel's also seeing it Friday, right? And Jeff's coming with me to see it. And then we're going to be talking about that next Saturday at 11 a.m. here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. So if you want to hear our take, come hear it here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as on the audio versions. Plus, check out our other channel. It's called Live Long in Podcast. It's our Star Trek themed channel where Monday nights we talk about Star Trek, the original series, with Jeff and I's dad, Ted. Only 10 episodes to go. Check all those out. Tuesday nights we talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We do it at 9 p.m. and that is we're doing season 4 now. We're going through all the different episodes. Check that out on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, starting Star Trek Lower Decks, which is in their second season. We're covering all the new episodes that are releasing every Thursday, whether that be on Paramount Plus or on CTV Sci-Fi in Canada or Crave, if you're a streamer. And lastly, check out our other channel called Trivial Debates. This morning we had a battle royale, a battle for the ages, if you will, where Jaemeel was hosting, and we had Chris Seymour, Tim Seymour, and Mott Tyrell,
the man they call Mott,
all nursing different events from the night before for this Sunday morning spectacular, and as was I. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Have you guys ever seen Gilligan's Island or Gillian's Island? I'm not sure if he's asking about Gilligan's Island or Gillian's Island, but
he's talking about Gilligan's Island.
Our dad
would
love. Yeah, our dad would love. He would relish a Gilligan's Island podcast.
Gilligan,
Maybe
the skipper to the millionaire.
Sam,
the question here is from Sam saying, "Who from the BB Can 8 needs to be on All Stars?" Only Sheldon, and that's it.
What? Not Jamar and Kylie?
I would bring back Jamar, but he's not an all-star. He's just like
It doesn't matter. Look, last BB All Stars has proven us that you don't need to be an all-star to be on All-Star season. It's open up. It's the Brooklyn Brawler making into the Hall of Fame.
Jamar is easily one of my most favorite Big Brother players in the last 5 or 6 years. Okay. Here question is from Mary. Just before we get to spoilers, what if the most unlikable past cast got one person they knew that would play the game, like Evil Dick? Like if you could get a whole bunch of villains, Big Brother villains versus villains.
We get Hans back, Willie.
We'll get Nicole Franzel. We'll get just like everybody. Paul. Josh Martinez. They're just instigators.
I'd take it. At least those players think individualistically a lot of the time. Yes, they know how to play the Big Alliance game.
What's EOTB?
I don't know.
I have no clue what ETOB is.
Jamar's coming back.
I think they kind of did that but the problem with that, Dave, is that they pregame too much. They need that's
Sheldon and Brooke.
I vaguely
would rather
remember
see-
Brooke.
What about this for an idea? Big Brother players play Survivor, and Survivor players play Big Brother.
I'm definitely on that. I'm on that. I would love that.
Tony Vachos in the Big B house with Russell Hantz and like all these crazy personalities, I think would be great. And then you put all these BB players that have had it easy in the BB house and send them onto a foreign island and see how they cope. I would like to see it.
X on the
X
beach.
on the beach. Oh, I do not watch that show.
Is he going to be doing it with what's her name? The one he was in the Showmance with?
Kylid.
Was that her name?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was Malin. Malin.
Ming Lee.
Minley.
Yeah.
No Jean-Luc. No Jean-Luc for BB All Stars.
No. Leave Jean-Luc at home. Okay. But someone they know. Yeah, I guess so. Like, there's different ways I think you could do a returning players cast that might. I don't know, because BB23, the All Stars, didn't like live up to its potential. I'm a little bit skeptical of these. Oh, apparently Davon and Min Lee are going to be are they going to be on this X on the beach? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, okay, let's get to the spoilers, guys, because we were getting there. So those are a lot of plugs, and then we're gonna get into the news. Let me hit the banner and hit the sound, and boom, boom, boom. Where is it? Bye.
I like Jeff no sells it now. Okay, so we were last left off, and as we mentioned, there was only one scenario that would call for doom for our good old Cookout Alliance, and that's if Sarah Beth won the veto. So the veto competitors. What?
No, thank you.
Yeah, she's like, no, thank you, Tiffany. I will not be on the block anymore.
So the competitors were Xavier, Kylan, and Sarah Beth, who were on the block. And then because Tiffany was no longer HOH, she cannot guaranteed to compete. So she had to do a draw, and she was not selected. So the people who were drawn were Hannah, Claire, and Alyssa. And
Claire should play. She was the secret HOH.
Yes, and the winner is, who do you think won?
Wait, I thought so Sarah Beth didn't win it?
I'm telling you, I'm asking you, who do you think won?
Sarah Beth.
Okay, Jeff, who do you think won?
I know who won. And
Okay,
Mr. Luigi was reading spoilers, so that's why. I didn't.
Okay, so you think Sarah Beth? That is incorrect, sir. Sarah Beth did not win. The winner is Hannah.
Hannah
won.
Doogie Howser.
She won. Okay, so what does Hannah want to do with it?
What do you think? She's gonna keep the noms the same. Why would she do anything?
Yeah, give me some spoiler music so I can do.
You want me to sell it again? Do you want Tiffany or no Tiffany?
You mean Brittany?
Brittany.
Yeah, give me some Brittany.
There you go.
There you go. B-Bean.
So did Hannah? So Hannah, if the coffee was the veto and the veto box was the coffee maker, she does nothing.
Put the coffee in the coffee maker.
Is that what she'll do?
You're just trying to fit that line in.
I was like, I'm just gonna set it up so I can put the coffee in the coffee maker.
Coffee maker.
Still my favorite Hannah clip.
So they haven't done the veto ceremony yet, but most likely she's not going to change anything. So, so after the renoms, Sarah Beth kind of knew that she's like gone and started crying, and Kylan like comforted her. Much better than Mr. Luigi. There you go.
Well, why not take down Xavier?
Because they would not be a replacement.
So then he votes.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't Xavier ask her to do this?
He doesn't necessarily have to ask her to do it.
He didn't have to win the veto last week either, but he did.
Yeah, but You're just taking him down.
Dave, don't try to
You're trying to
ascribe
question logic.
Yeah. Don't
There's no
ascribe
consistency
logic to
here. Where's the consistency?
Have you been paying attention to this season? There is no logic. There's no consistency. None of it makes sense. Cats and dogs living together.
Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
Dave, why shouldn't she take Xavier down?
Sorry, I lost it. Why shouldn't she take Xavier down? There's no reason not to.
So then, if she doesn't, then why are we questioning it?
There is a reason to not do it. It's very obvious if she takes him down that they're working together.
It doesn't matter. They have such like a dominance here. Like it doesn't even matter. Even if Alyssa, so what? They lose one. They lose one. Next week they'll win, and they'll just take her out. Like,
what if Claire wins? What if Claire wins HOH? Oh, she can't actually. So
once they do, let's assume this all goes through and Sarah Beth gets voted out. So now Alyssa and Claire are these they're the only Are they not going to figure this out? Really?
I just realized why you would do this. Think about it. You can have a conversation with Alyssa and go, "Hey, Alyssa, I don't want Xavier to go down. Let's work together." Right? I think one of Sarah Beth or Kylan's going to be gone. And I know you're close with X. I want to work with you guys. So I should use my veto. I should use my veto to take X down. And Alyssa being paired with X, you go, yeah, that's cool. Right?
Well, Xavier should want to be taken down.
But think about it though. If Hannah and Alyssa make some kind of understanding. Let's say Alyssa wins HOH next week, right? So then there's an opportunity that they can kind of help direct Alyssa as to what she will do, which is
Xavier can already do that. Xavier controls what Alyssa does. It doesn't matter. It's like,
but you want to smooth the path as much as possible.
You're overdoing it. Like
Why?
It's like too cute. It's too cute.
I don't think it is too cute. And what is the loss in doing so? There's no loss. They have nothing to lose in this scenario.
You should want to be taken down off the block if you're Xavier. Whether you want to make you want to triple make deals on top of deals, I guess. But it's just just in case, cover all contingencies. But maybe that's part of the reason.
Alyssa, we need to get Claire out now. Claire can't compete in HOH, so this is the perfect time to strike.
No, we have to make sure that so many cookout players can play in the no. Why? Because Alyssa and Claire are going to are these huge threats to your great strategy here.
They could win. Look, it's going to be a competition most likely that you can't easily throw. So it might be another Q&A.
So they lose Derek F or Azza or something. It doesn't matter.
But the whole point is to not lose anybody. You're coming from a perspective of wanting this game to be played the way that you think it should be played, and they're not playing that way.
I mean, okay, guys, you should have seen tonight. You guys missed it, but when Tiffany did the coin flip, and it ended up overthrowing her, she went, "I've been overthrown." And it's just how do players not go, "Oh, she wanted this," and just go why? Start doing a little bit of investigative journalism of your own inside the house and figure out why Tiffany wanted this, and said it like that, and just pick up on inflections and stuff. I don't.
Rumor here is that production asked Claire to throw this competition, HOH competition.
No, not this HOH competition. I know a lot of people were throwing this competition. It is, if Claire wins the coin of destiny, she cannot compete in next week's HOH. That's what we're talking about in terms of either she can compete, but if she's supposed to keep her anonymity, jeez, words difficult. Then how is she going to throw it unless it's a competition where people cannot necessarily see what people are doing? It could be a time. You're right. Time one.
Get this, guys. Hannah beat Sarah Beth by 23 seconds. I think it was BB Comics that they played, but
So early?
I think it was. It might be wrong, but it was definitely a timed event.
Okay, question here though. Next week, if Alyssa wins HOH, who does she put up right now?
Probably. Who put up X?
Nobody. It was the twist.
Probably put up Azza and DF. Big D. She definitely wants Big D up there.
So Big D and Claire?
Maybe, or Big D and Azza.
Because she'll go, hey, we need to get one of those two out, and Tiffany is close to both of them.
Yeah, so it says here like
she has to play next HOH to keep it a secret, but she cannot. They said they cannot compete though.
Yeah, so she'll go.
She'll go into the room where it's a timed event like a BB Comics, and then she'll walk right back out. That's what's gonna happen.
She'll just be in there for a certain amount of time, however long you have to do it to pull off the ruse.
I know it's dumb, BB, and it's dumb.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it's like I just want to fast forward to week 11 then, if that's all this is going to be.
You can borrow this if you want to.
Yeah, well, it's like we were saying, right? And you know, even if you're cheering Cookout, like don't you want a little bit more adversity? I don't know.
I'm sure people like kind of look at it the opposite way, where like, you know, for season after season, it was always like the pretty white people that always got their way in these big alliances, and now it's happening in reverse. And I'm sure there are
people are losing their minds.
Oh no, I think there are it's the other way. Like I think certain people have like the Schadenfreude of like, you know, watching people lose their minds over this, because it's kind of funny because you know, there's been so many alliances. I don't never cheer for a big alliance. I don't understand why you would want to. Because for me, I cheer for the house never to get their way. I like seeing adversity. I like seeing.
I'm always inclined to cheer for the minority alliance or the people who are not in the alliance.
You hit it here, folks. Dave was always pro-black from the beginning.
Yeah, he's
not
always
that minority, not that minority, but I cheer for anybody. Like if I like them, you know.
Look, we had a big alliance in Big Brother Canada, and we saw how that worked out, right? Where sure, members got to the end, but it wasn't like a straightforward, you know, romp to the end. There was ups and downs and adversity, and sometimes the Sunsetters were not in the lead position, and you know, and even from
they
within,
eventually did turn on each other, and like they did, like they knew that they were going to have to, like, so in Big Brother Canada 9, which we just did this year as well, like you saw that, they had this big alliance, and we had to kind of go through some boring weeks while they went through the motions of getting out.
But they also had Victoria there too,
right? And you had some unstable elements and some more like tension in the house too, right? Yeah. Because people like Victoria made sure there was. You know, and that's what you do have to have sort of that disruption element, right? It can't be that easy. And because they got out all of these like eccentric people early, Frenchie, Brent Champagne, Whitney, you know, go on. Who else? Even like Derek X and others, like these are they're gone. So you got this
Brittany,
kind of safe, boring Brittany.
Yeah. But Brittany had no power, so
also if Ozza wasn't Cookout, she would definitely be gone.
Well, Ozza wanted to play a different game than what she ended up doing, from what she was talking about.
Imagine Frenchie had not taken out Travis and he had taken out one of these members of the Cookout. Maybe we would have seen a completely different season.
Frenchie still would have got eliminated, though.
Have I been invited to the Cookout?
I thought I already invited him.
You invited me because you resigned earlier, right? Didn't you say, or you were considering?
Well, I left early because they started playing Beyonce.
Right, yeah. And
so he's still there. He's like, did Jaemeel bring him? Oh no, Dave's fine.
Yeah. Do I have to pretend I like Beyonce?
You'll probably like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not touching that radio.
I'm not
Dave's in the corner. He's Dave's doing the electric slide, if you didn't know.
I might be.
Dave, do you know the electric slide?
I know what it is. I don't know if I can do it.
Okay.
But,
I know Electric Avenue. I'm gonna rock down to it.
Okay, Mary's saying that one day in the near future, when Ozza and Big D blow up on Tiffany, and that's what we have to wait for. That is, you know, it's all building.
I think more Big D than Ozza.
And I think Kylan's also going to get blown up on as well.
But at the same time, it depends. If if Kylan wrongs Tiffany in the right presence, I think Azza would be behind Tiffany as opposed to take Kylan's side.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't trust you.
Okay. Question here. 2 questions. Number 1, how successful would Tiffany have been in the previous 5 seasons if she replaced a black player? Okay,
she replaced Davon.
If she,
Much better.
Much better. She's a much better player than Davon.
Much better.
Yeah.
So wait, the black people she would have replaced would be Davon, and then the previous season would have been, what's her name?
Bailey?
Oh,
Bailey. It would have been an upgrade, right? So
it's an upgrade. It's a solid.
Yeah, she's an upgrade. She's an upgrade.
Previous 5. So we're going back from 23 back to 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah, if it was Davon or Bailey, they replaced like Hannah and Azza. Like, they're such different personalities, regardless of ethnicity. But like,
yeah, it's hard to say if Davon and Bailey would have went along with this cookout for as long as Azza and Hannah have. It's hard to know.
Like those 4 people, like Davon and Bailey they were friends and they had a lot in common. And Azza and Hannah are so different. Like, it's like,
and I think Hannah is a lot smarter than the other 3.
Yeah, she's Doogie Hazard.
Yeah, I think so too. She knows that getting to the 6. Okay, so here's the thing: when they get to the 6, there's going to be 3 girls: Hannah, Azza, Tiffany, against the 3 boys: Big D, Kylan, and Xavier. Okay,
but are they against each other?
I think they're not again.
They're not going to make it to the final 6. I don't think they're making the final 6.
Really?
You've been saying that's all they're going to do is get to final 6 together.
They're not going to. Go ahead.
I think they will. But and when they do, I do think that the boys are going to have the advantage because I don't think the boys are going to go after each other. I don't think if Big D won, if Kylan or Xavier won, they would go after the girls.
Big D would go after Tiffany for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I think that there's going to be an extra person that wins at 7, and it's going to be heartbreak for folks.
Who would he put? Okay, let's say Big D was HOH and he wanted to go after Tiffany. Who does he put up next to Tiffany at that final 6?
Azza.
His closest ally?
I don't think he cares anymore. What's he going to do? Put up Hannah? He'll put up Hannah and Tiffany.
Hannah and Tiffany.
Yeah, he sees how close they are.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, here's the thing. Like, maybe Jameel's right. Like, but the thing is, next week Claire's going home. Newsflash, everybody! But next week Claire's going home, and
or
then
Alyssa.
no, it's gonna be Claire unless Claire wins veto, and then after that, then that's when they're gonna go for Alyssa. Now, if Alyssa wins the HOH that week, yes, you could see a heartbreak. But
but if Alyssa wins HOH, Xavier has her in her pocket, so he can kind of.
Why is Xavier the guy who loses his connection, his pair, like last? How did he get so?
Just how the cookie crumbled.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
With Tiffany winning HOH, they went after. Whoever wins HOH next time gets to dictate who gets voted out next.
Right, that's true. What if I was BB asking here? What if I was trying to flush out? Is that even a good casted player like Tiffany? What's he trying to flush?
So what he's saying is, what he's trying to say is, trying to flush out even a good coaster like Tiffany would have been evicted pretty early in the 5 previous seasons. Yes, definitely.
I think there's a good chance at that. I think she has an abrasive personality, and I think she plays hard, fast, and for some reason
that's the reason you're approaching it. I
think so. Well, why what would have got her voted out early before?
Okay.
Her age?
Okay.
Who?
Okay.
Tiffany?
Well, I think I'm just
talking about
like,
Tiffany?
maybe I don't. Maybe I'm naive.
Tiffany,
I don't know. It's.
In my opinion, Tiffany. Unless she came up with the cookout saved Tiffany. I don't think she'd still be here because she is the most overt strategist player in the house I've seen in a long time. Does not care how other people really see her as the strategist, and will go around to everybody and tell everybody her plan, other than and even like people that aren't in her alliance, and convince them that she is in an alliance with them, even though she's not, because she's constantly flip-flopping between. Like, she would be considered a disloyal
she's
player.
Empowered to do so, and there have been players exactly like that who have been empowered to do so. as well. So
yeah, it depends. Like if it just all depends if someone else doesn't like her on a given season. But this time, like there were other threats, there were other people to put ahead of like the chopping block. There was Frenchies and other people that they were just like way more interested in getting out than her.
She was able to gain power, and that's how she's able to survive. In 5 previous seasons, I do not see her at all gaining any type of power because of the individuals who were in charge, and therefore she would have been eliminated. That's as simple as it could have been. Now, the questions as to why she wouldn't have the ability to gain any power, I can leave that up to anyone else's devices and decisions, but I think for her specifically as an older black woman, I think that there's no way she's teaming up with Cody. There's no way she's teaming up with these dumb alliances and who's a part of it. And that's the reason why.
Do I look old to you?
To them, yes. They're like, you don't look like you don't look like a 14-year-old girl like Alyssa. So that's why.
It was so I played for you this before the show, but it was so weird tonight where she was like being a little cute and sexy voice tonight.
It's your new HOH, guys. It's me.
It's me. It's me.
It's so different than her other voice where she's just like, you know.
I said what I said.
Amazing.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
We are not cut from the same cloth.
So we different.
We different.
We different. Yeah. Like, Tiffany is like she kind of morphs into different personalities all the time, like different ways of.
That's how we do. That's how we do.
Depending like what situation she's in, who she's talking to, you know, and I wonder if that's a strategy thing on her part too. I think it's a way she plays that way. She tries to get bond with Claire. Girls,
Alyssa too.
Yeah, Alyssa. We're just girls and we're trying to figure this out. And then it's like she'll go talk to Big D. It's like we're as much as we fight, we're brother sister, and she starts comparing it that way, and it's just like, but if you don't say good morning to her, there's gonna be hell to pay. We
don't get nowhere. We not on the same page. We not cut from the same cloth. We ain't from the same nothing.
Do you have the clip from the night where she's like, we fight, but we're at the end of the day.
Folks. What you were previously talking about in terms of changing personalities, that's what we call code switching. You can read up on that.
Code switching.
Play those back to back, Dave. The one you just played, and then the one from tonight, because there couldn't be a bigger contradiction. In BB clips.
You mean when Tiffany was saying what?
We're different. We're not cut from the same cloth. And then the one from tonight where she was like, we fight sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're close. We're like brother sister. Okay. Give me back to back those two clips. I'll be quiet.
Okay. So we got So We Different first?
Yeah.
Where'd she go? Oh, so many clips.
How many clips do you have?
Like hundreds.
A lot. A lot.
So we different.
No, the cut from the same cloth one. You got that one? We ain't cut from the same cloth.
Oh yeah.
We don't get nowhere. We not on the same page. We not cut from the same cloth. We ain't from the same nothing.
Okay,
right.
And now the one from the night.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's HOH.
Derek and I might fight like siblings, but we are working together. I do.
Okay. That was pretty much it. But yeah, this kind of it needs to be a remix. You're right, Sam. I think it couldn't be more contradictory. It's almost like I almost think like Tiffany doesn't buy her own stuff sometimes. Like and then I do think the claws come out of her sometimes when like a Big D pissed her off, or the Kylan didn't say good morning to her, and then his just calm demeanor is just she's had enough of him. And she was fighting with him last episode about a flip. And then she says she wants to do the flip, and then she doesn't do a flip, even though she could have done the flip. All she had to do is convince Azza. And there's just all these
because they were
things
never going to do the flip, Jeff. They were never going to do the flip.
Why?
Believe me.
Because they decided as a group that they weren't going to. There was not 4 votes. There were 0 votes.
So then don't go to Sarah Beth tonight and go, well, you ruined my game because he was the only guy playing for me. And when you had the chance to flip it, You know, like these are the type of. It's so contradictory that
It's
like,
not contradictory. I disagree completely. It isn't contradictory.
All right, well, I'm willing to hear you out.
No, I'm like, it is true that she wanted to save DX, but they made a decision not to do so. There was not 4 votes, right? There were not 4 votes for him, right? The only reason it's the illusion of votes. There were never 4 votes.
There was 2. There were Jaemeel though. There was 2. Like Kylan and Hannah still voted for Claire, right? Like they still did it, right?
They were only going to vote for him.
What? Then you backstab them. This is a game. You backstab them. You let them do those sympathy votes, and then you backstab them and make it a 4-3 vote, and then you shock the hell out of them. That's good TV. That's
Here's
what
my
I'm
question.
here for.
If Jeff was in this house,
you're hoping for good TV. That's not necessarily the best strategy.
If Jeff was in this house with them and he suggested this to them, right, Jaemeel, would they listen?
Tiffany would listen.
Yeah.
And then she'll probably turn around and say, "Yo, we need to get Jeff out, man." he's an independent thinker, and he's trying to do his own
We don't
thing.
like this. This is not how this goes.
You are an unknown element, and you would need to get eliminated.
You are not a team player.
I do think Tiffany is a sincere person, but she's a. I don't know. Like
they're all sincere, but they're sincere in the fact that they're sad that they have to eliminate people. But it's like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. That's the mindset.
Evil? Why is that evil? They're the ones. I think they're the ones kind of like Kylan and Hannah doing the sympathy vote thing. I think that's the kind of evil thing.
Jeff is not being evil at all.
No.
Jeff is playing from a perspective of wanting to be an independent person and wanting to win. That's not necessarily the mentality of some of the people that are playing in this game. They're like, oh, the real game doesn't start till 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So this is just preseason. This is just preseason, right? And it's frustrating because, like, and I hope that they absolutely understand that some of these people might not like them afterwards. They can't just assume, well, we had a cause and everything. They'll understand. No. Set yourself up that some people, Brittany, are not going to like the fact that they basically had no chance. They had the illusion of chance, right? So just be prepared for that. Be prepared that America might not like you too.
Your choice was Coke or Pepsi. You're still getting diabetes.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just that I think it's I don't know if this will get better or not before, if it's get worse before it gets better with the
show.
Well, I just think that the way that this cast, the way that I think the mentality of a lot of like reality TV stars right now, and what they want to get out of being on a show, and what experience they want to have as a player, I think most of them are thinking long term. They're thinking after the show. They're thinking about their popularity. They're not necessarily thinking, was I on the greatest season? Did I give great ratings to CBS? Yeah, if it behooves them, but for themselves. But I think generally no. I feel like it's more like these are professional models, athletes, celebrities, like these recruits, and like it's just this is a stepping stone for some of them.
Casting's going to have to do the heavy lifting, and the fact of the matter is, people going, oh, they should get more fans. Fans know exactly how the fan base is, and they're like, if I do something stupid, I'm going to be. I'm going to be the blank that sucks, or that clip is going to be replayed forever. That soundbite's going to be played forever. People are going to put me in lists of top 10 worst players of all time, right? Or if I say something like how I really feel, then America's going to not like me or might get misconstrued. So they might play as just as conservative as the people that we actually hate. So we're talking about a situation where we're dealing with celebrity as a whole, right? In terms of entertainment. So
yeah, it's true. There's something to be said for that, Jaemeel, because like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody came out of the show and made money for being a social media star. That wasn't a thing. So now it is, and it's kind of messed up the game.
Instagram influencer. I want to be an influencer. I want to be Nicole Franzel. I want to have deals like that, right?
Yeah, I want to sell soap.
if you have like a business savviness to you know, and you're not just like, I'm coming on to be on the show and then I'm leaving, you know, like I think that that's
Dr. Will went back to his practice after Big Brother.
Well,
2.
that used to be the case. It used to be like these were regular people, for lack of a better word, you know, or term, like is, you know, like the
Bunky didn't have a tour of America, you know, after Big Brother 2.
Right? No.
Give them more money for the fights. Give them incentives to have a more entertaining.
Then it's just going to be fake fights, and it's just going to be. You might as well just watch pro wrestling.
They need to be more miserable. I mean, Survivor did this well. Like they really, you know, made them miserable by food. Basically, food's a great way.
That's what the slop and the have-not is supposed to do, right?
When's the last time you heard anything about have-nots? That they stopped doing have-nots, right?
I think it's still happening, right?
It's a
yes and no, but it's not a major part of the show.
It's not, and Big Brother is a comfy gig. You know, yes, the cameras are on you all the time, but like, you know, you're in a house, you're always on a couch or a bed.
The have-not room is garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage.
It looks just as comfortable as any other.
You could barely tell it's a have-not room,
right?
Yeah,
it
just
just
they
looks
put
like
a surfboard in there, and they're like, you know, they think that's uncomfortable. And you know, I give me a blanket and a pillow, I'm good to go.
Give me food comms. Give me situation. Give me punishments if people do something wrong. Right?
We didn't hear from Kesar until the All-Star season.
Yeah. Give me situations where people are put at odds with each other. Hey, everyone has 30 minutes to shower, you know, every day. If someone goes 30 minutes and 1 second, the entire house gets a punishment. Put them in situations where they're constantly at odds with each other. You don't even have to announce who the person who resulted in it. People might do it on purpose to screw with people. Put them at odds all the time, and the tensions will rise, and people will eat each other.
Yeah, and it'll just be. You know, the thing is though, they wanted everybody to be nice and clap for each other whenever they win anything. It's just like, come on, like this is not entertaining. Like, you know, like it's
like basketball now, Jeff. Like how all the players hug and kiss when they, you know. They even high five when they miss their shots.
Part of what makes a hockey amazing is they'll punch each other in the face, you know, and then but they will do the handshake after a playoff series. But you know,
well, yeah,
you know,
it's after the game, but like there should be some viciousness to it, you know.
I will disagree with your assessment of basketball, given the amount of basketball that you do watch on an
very little. Basis. But when I do watch it, I see all
I'm letting it slide right off my shoulders. It's okay.
It's okay.
Basketball's more about personalities. Like there are players that do hate each other and will not do the hug and kiss thing after a game. There's definitely.
You think Kyle Lowry loves people? He loves people, but when he's playing against people, you're my enemy.
Yeah,
you're my
absolutely.
enemy.
Absolutely.
But when the game, a lot of professional athletes used to be, that continued off the ice or whatever. But
you have to admit, like Michael Jordan, you know, there was an edge to him. He made like back in those days, even the early '90s, like those guys hated each other. You know, as far as teams. Now they're all individuals.
The problem is, right? Like us a Tidway.
And some booze.
I would. For some booze, that would be great. Boo! I'd do it, and then they'd be like, "You gotta get this Jeff guy out."
Yeah, we're gonna listen to football. Look, here's the thing, right? In terms of basketball, quickly, is a lot of the stars don't want to pick a side, and that's where you see it. But all the role players, right? They're exactly who like are the old school type of mentality. Patrick Beverley doesn't care about people. He'll push you right in the back when you turn your back on him, right? But like if you're a star player, they're like, oh, I got to worry about, I'm going to this town. I have to make public appearances. The only real big star that has that type of mentality is Kevin Durant, right? Who literally does not care about anyone. He'll like, I'll join up with those people and then I'll leave. I don't like them. It's just a business transaction.
Yes.
When he's good friends with Drake, but he doesn't care about Drake like that. Like Toronto interviewed him right after they won a game in Toronto, and the media was trying to suck up to Kevin Durant using Drake as like the entry point. Is like, oh, I saw that you were trading barbs with Drake, your good friend. How are you enjoying Drake night? And then Kevin Durant just looked at him and was like, I don't care about no damn Drake night. And he just cut the interview and walked away because it was a dumb question, right?
Yeah. I've also seen him asked like, hey, weren't you a Toronto Raptor fan when you were younger? He goes, yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
He's like, I played with crayons and I stuffed it up my nose too. Doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah, I love PB&J, but I don't eat it for every meal. So.
But I do think like if you watch that Last Dance documentary and you watch the way they like Michael Jordan, they hacked the hell out of him, and like you watch LeBron today, and yes, he gets fouled, but it is not the same level. That
LeBron is one of them. He gets hit a lot, but he's also one of the most protected people too.
Right. And so and it's basketball, and like there is dangers, and like you break your legs quite easily. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. We're coming up on 2 hours, guys. This has been a long podcast, and I am starting to lose.
All the basketball talk, your eyes are glazing over.
I'm just like, like just basketball.
Dave, borrow. Here you go. Go ahead and borrow. Why does
I don't need to block it out. It's okay. I don't love it. Every time I try to ask my dad to explain the game to me, he won't. So this is my main issue.
Oh my god!
Isn't it true, Jeff? Every time I go, how does this work, Daddy? He goes, nah, I'm not explaining this shit.
He kind of just shakes his head and goes, it's too complicated for me to explain this whole game to you, Dave.
Oh my gosh, it's not cricket. It's okay.
Yeah.
He would explain cricket to me. He won't explain basketball.
Okay, I think that's the end of this episode.
That's the end of this podcast. Okay, thank you for joining us. It's almost August 30th now, right? But not quite out of the month. Thanks for joining us. We already plugged all the shows. And thanks for listening and commenting, subscribing. Make sure to tell all your friends. Check out our everything I mentioned and our friends podcast, including our cousin. We got Davin Skellhorn, who has Locutors of Trek, which is a friend of Live Long and Podcast. He also joins us on the Thursday podcast. Plus, we have my son, Eamon. He has his podcast called Let's Talk About Fighting Games, which you can find on Spotify and different audio platforms, which is all focused on video fighting video games. And I did get everybody, right?
You did.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone, and do we need some Julie Chen wisdom to take us away?
Julie Chen Moonves wisdom.
Julie Chen Moonves. Okay. Here we go.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves, and remember, be